Diana is looking for a second date update with a guy named Jack. How are you, Diana?
Hey, I guess it could be better. How are you doing?
We're doing okay. You don't sound too sure of yourself, and I understand that once you go on the radio and you put it out there, there's no turning back. And that's kind of what you're doing, is you're putting yourself out there. But this guy must really be something if you're that curious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that you guys can help me get some clarity on this, because I had such a crazy weekend and then nothing. So, it was,
Okay. Well, let's start from the beginning. Why don't you tell us how you met Jack and how your first encounter went with him?
Okay. So I met him on a Friday, and we were basically together through Monday. And then as soon as he left my house on Monday morning, I haven't heard anything from him. So, I'm convinced he's married and he has a wife and she's out of town, and he decided to just have a crazy weekend. And, of course, I'm the pawn in this big game of infidelity. And it's I'm convinced that it's true. And it felt so real that I, have a smidgen of hope that it's not true, but my expectations are pretty low.
But your gut is telling you that he's married and you were just used and discarded.
Well, let's go back a little bit.
Basically.
And, before you created this story, what was the crazy? What happened? What did you guys do all those days?
It was so whirlwind. So I go to my neighborhood bar every Friday night, and he was there alone, and he came up to me and started talking to me. And, he said that his friends had just left, but he was expecting his other friend to come meet him there. And, of course, that friend never showed. So he was talking to me and my friends, and he started buying us shots. And several, I don't know how many rounds of shots later, we were all just, wasted, having fun. And he ended up coming back with me in an Uber to my place.
Nice.
And I you never know what that's going to be, whatever I thought is going to be a fun night. But it ended up being, he was there until early Monday morning when he left at, 5 a.m. so he could go back home to get ready for work. The only time we were apart the whole weekend was Saturday afternoon. He ran home to just grab some things so that he could be at my place. So, he was, we were together the whole time. It's not like his phone wasn't blowing up. There was no, I looked at his ring finger for tan lines and all that, like you're supposed to do. No evidence of a ring ever being worn. It didn't seem like anybody was looking for him. It was so fun and easy. I haven't dated in a really long time because it just sucks and it's stupid, but it just felt so right. I don't know, I've never had that before. We just connect with somebody. It was the best weekend ever, to be honest. It was are we getting married?
Wow.
I don't know.
That's so intense.
I know. I hate that whirlwind
really
kind of crap, and then when it comes to a screeching halt, it's just you really feel it.
Yeah, and I knew something was wrong so he left Monday morning, and I texted him on Monday around lunchtime, and he didn't get back to me, which felt weird. And, he said he didn't do any social media, and I looked, and I couldn't find him. So, maybe he gave me a fake name, but I know his phone number because I was texting him when he went back to get his stuff, and he responded. So, I can't wait to see what happens here.
Okay. Any other questions, guys?
I don't think so.
No.
All right, we'll make the call. No promises, but we'll do our best. We'll reach out to Jack when we come back, see what he thought of Diana and his weekend with her, and whether or not he's open to ever seeing her again. Coming up next with Jeff and Jen at Cincinnati's Q102. All right, so Diana met Jack at her neighborhood bar. She was there with some friends, and I guess he was there with friends and was waiting for another friend to meet him, but one friend had left, and another one was supposed to show up and didn't. And anyway, you know how these things are just fluid. Next thing she knows, this guy's buying her and her friend shots. Ended up Ubering back to her place, so there was obviously an instant attraction there. And guy ended up spending the better part of the weekend with her. I think only going back to his house Saturday afternoon and maybe get a change of clothes. But
some fresh underwear.
Right.
Need that.
but she hasn't seen or heard from him since, what was it, Monday at 5 a.m., Diana?
Yep, that's when he left for work, and that was it.
And what was that like? You know, did he sneak out? Was there a kiss, a hug?
Oh, there was a kiss. Like, like, it was still very intense. It was like he was going off to war, like a...
Wow.
like, you know, like...
Well, after such an intense weekend of intimacy, I mean, you're not going to give a peck a hug and see ya.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're going to make
Damn.
out for a few minutes.
It wasn't just the intimacy. I would just want to stress, like, it was a real connection. Like, we talked all night, you know, I guess in between things, but, like, it was more than just the attraction. So that's
Felt
why
like
it's,
the real
so
deal.
baffling. Yeah.
Well, let's call him up. I can't wait to hear this story.
Same.
Hello?
Hi, Jack.
Yeah, who's this?
Jeff and Jen at Q102. How are you?
Jeff and Jen,
Yes, sir.
the folks on the radio?
Yes, sir. You got a few minutes?
Man, this smells like second date update. Is that what's going on?
You smell correctly, my friend.
You got a good sniffer.
Listen, I'm happy to tell you what happened, especially if it gets her to calm down.
What?
I mean, she's been calling and texting me nonstop. Like, I was thinking of getting some, lesser form of restraining order on her. Because when I got to my house after leaving her place, I walked into a freaking disaster zone, And
What do you mean?
But somebody had broken into my place, stolen everything worth anything.
Oh, wow.
And then to add insult to injury, they freaking turned on the water and just flooded my kitchen, my living room.
What?
Everything's freaking ruined.
Oh, my goodness.
Now I've got mold, all my stuff. I've been spending all my time dealing with cops and insurance and trying to replace all this stuff that was stolen.
Oh, man.
And I don't have the freaking energy, man.
Wow.
I can't deal with anything, and she's texting me, calling me like we've been married for 10 years or something, This is a girl I picked up and we banged for a weekend, and then when things calm down, I'll give her a call, but get off my you know what I mean? Like, I'm dealing with freaking Armageddon.
Well, now, and
I haven't had a good night's sleep. I feel like I'm inhaling mold, and I don't want to deal with anybody. I have my brothers calling me. I'm not calling him back. It doesn't mean I don't want him to be my brother. It's just like, listen, this is how I deal, is I kind of shut down and then regroup.
I am so sorry that you're going through this, and of course, you understand we had no idea, and I'm sure she had no idea. And Jack, since you're familiar with Second Date Update, then I'm sure you also know that Diana is on the line with us.
Yeah, you got me on the line. Here I am.
Wow. Okay, well, now I see how you deal with bad things happening to you. You turn into a giant ass. Like, you could have... I don't understand. I get that you don't have time to talk to me or anybody, but you could have reached out and said, like, you would call when things calm down. You didn't have to ignore me completely. And to say something like, I'm some girl you banged for a weekend?
Listen, you're somebody I just met. You know what I mean? It's not like I have some responsibility to you at this point in our relationship. I mean, we need to kind of like put things in perspective. We still need a little more time before I feel like I have to answer every freaking call, especially when I'm going through something, catastrophic.
I would have thought that you would have wanted to. And you need to keep yourself in check when you have a whirlwind weekend with a woman and you talk about us having a future. It's not like I made this stuff up out of thin air. Like, you are the one who talked about us having a future and how you've never met anyone.
That was, look, that was like post-coital pillow talk. I mean, we could have a future together. Why not?
Okay. I mean, right now...
Yeah, I mean, when I got home, I didn't feel like I had a future. I felt violated, like on a level that, I can't explain it. Like, all my crap, stuff that I've had my entire life is ruined.
I know, but in her defense, she had no idea any of this was going on. In her mind, she thought something sinister was afoot, like either you were a married guy or maybe you'd driven off the Brent Spence Bridge, man. She didn't know.
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to be a here. You know, I mean, it's just a situation that probably would have been avoidable if I just talked to her on the phone about it, but I just didn't feel like I knew her well enough.
And you didn't even need to talk to me on the phone. Like, a simple text, like, something just happened, and I'll get back to you later. I mean, anything. And even, you're breathing in mold. You could have come to my place to spend some nights. Like, I don't know, maybe someday you'll learn how to deal with this stuff and reach out to people. I mean, I get you're under a lot of stress right now, and stress does things to people and makes them say and do crappy things. So, like, I want to just leave it at that. And if you want to call me sometime down the road, that's fine, but I'm going to go ahead and move on. Like, I really am sorry that all that happened to you, and I do wish you well.
That sounds like a good plan, man. I mean, I'm not, you know, I just didn't, you know, I probably misinterpreted all the texts, and, you know, I felt like you were just kind of, you were stepping on my toes a little bit, and maybe I freaked out, man, you know, who knows? Right now, I got to get my shit in order, so.
Yeah.
You definitely got some, stuff to handle.
Well, thank you for taking our call. We appreciate the explanation, and we're very sorry that happened. I know you got your hands full, but don't be afraid to reach out to friends when you're going through something like that, man. Let them help.
Yeah.
No, look, I appreciate it, and I'm a big fan of your show, and thanks for reaching out. And Diana, we'll talk. I'll call you later today.
Well, I wish you guys a lot of luck.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Thanks again for taking the call.
No problem.
All right, Dan.
Well, Diana,
hopefully
you
he
are a
calls you.
patient, kind, understanding woman.
I mean, I've had some really terrible things happen in my life. I just deal with them differently than he does. So,
Right. Well, I think
hopefully
it's
sometime he can.
awfully nice of you
learn
to
to
give
lean
him the
on.
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sure.
Thank you guys so much for making the call.
Hey, no problem.
All right,
Take it
take
easy.
care.
So if we can do a second date update for you, shoot us an email, Jeff and Jen at WKRQ.